Live from the Student Union on campus, this is Goldmine Live. Your weekly all-access pass inside Charlotte Athletics is brought to you by Ortho Carolina, proud to present the 2016 Charlotte 49ers football season. Bojangles, Academy Sports and Outdoors, your Carolina Ford dealers. Go to yourfordchoice.com and enter the Adventure Ready giveaway to win a 2017 Escape or Fusion from your Carolina Ford dealers. Harris Teeter, University Eye Associates, and by Wells Fargo. Now, here's your host, the voice of the 49ers, Matt Swierad.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Goldmine Live here at Norm's, the Student Union today. Final regular season football show as we go into the final week of the football season already. The Niners traveling after Thanksgiving to San Antonio, Texas, to take on the Roadrunners of UTSA this coming Saturday night. And the Niners go into this game looking for a 500 season in Conference USA in their second Conference USA season. Right now 3-4 following the game this week with Middle Tennessee. As always, joined by Kevin Donnalley, my broadcast partner, and head coach Brad Lambert. And later in the show, assistant coach Damien is going to be with us, and also Wolfgang Zacherl is going to be our special player guest coming up a little bit later on. Plus another edition of the Bow Time Challenge with Kevin challenging a student eating some, I think it's chicken supremes maybe today with.
Oh no, we got
what is it?
Bowberry biscuits.
Bowberry biscuits.
Man, I sound good on this thing, huh?
Yeah, that's right.
It's deep.
That's right.
Deep boys. What have you been doing lately, deep boys? Well, Coach, good to see you on this Monday. And, gosh darn, another tough one on Saturday. But the guys just keep battling. They wanted that win so bad on Senior Day. Great comeback from Dow 18, playing a good Middle Tennessee team. And your thoughts, first of all, and I know you're disappointed, but proud of the way the guys came back.
Yeah, frustrated was the real kind of the key word in there because we didn't play very well in the first half, and I wasn't real pleased with them for whatever reason, whether we did something wrong in practice all week, whatever the case may be, senior game, everybody's last game, just focus wasn't there early in the game, and so we had to get them refocused at the half, and I really thought the guys responded well, and we'd come all the way back and made a couple of good plays down the stretch and thought, okay, we'll get this to overtime. I was really thinking when we got the ball back with 3 minutes, we can drive down, kick the field goal, and win the game and not go to overtime. And we kind of, faltered right there, punted the ball back to them, and we had a couple of misfits on the long run. And that's what happens when you play against good people, especially a running back like they've got. Now, that wasn't even their starter that finished the game, but very talented team in Middle Tennessee. And there was a tough challenge for us, but I was really proud of the way the guys responded and came back out after the half and just, played like I know we can play.
Week 11, that's what it was. And I think if you look at that game and the way you guys kind of hung it, then you mentioned the slow start and maybe for whatever reason, you go back, I think, week 5, week 6, you're not in that football game in the fourth quarter. This team has matured and gotten better, learned to overcome some adversity and mistakes, and gotten to a position where they can compete later in the game.
Yeah, no question. Our guys have gotten better as the seasons went along. Like we talked last week, now your last 6 games, you're really going down the last play every week, and you're competing at a pretty high level in this league in year 2. So that bodes well for us as we move forward. But we would, I've challenged our team this week with, finishing 500 in the league, and what a big piece in the building of this program this game can be. As you move forward, we were 0-8 last year. If you can get to 4-4 this year, and our seniors can leave that with us, as we build this program, it's a huge piece. So it's a critical game for us, coming up, and we're gonna have to play well. San Antonio's a talented team. Got a lot of transfers in. There's some guys that we played against last year on the team. So Frank's done a good job since taking over. Yeah, it's a situation where we really got to focus and take this step and build on this program. But you're right, Matt, in that, beginning of the season, we weren't kind of where we wanted to be and made some changes throughout that process. But I've been really proud of the guys over the last 6 weeks of taking this thing down and battling and winning some games and giving ourselves a chance to win each and every game.
Yeah, outside of the ODU game, you've had a chance to win every game, and that's, in year 4, year 2 at this level, that's a great step in the right direction. I know where you guys want to be, but that's still a great step in the right direction. Before we get too far into the show, I know some people that were listening, that are watching, maybe don't know the situation and want to get an update. Anthony Covington, it was a scary moment in the fourth quarter, so how's AC doing?
He's really doing well. Everything tested out. We took him to the hospital that night, Saturday night, and everything came back normal. All the scans and x-rays and MRIs and things like that. He's been at the office today. Came by yesterday. We were watching film, came by today. He's, sore obviously, but he's okay and is doing well. He's moving around, going to class. So I doubt if he'll be able to play this week. Just the trauma of that happened to your spinal cord, where he did lose some feeling in his limbs. That's always a scary thing. And so, but really happy for him. All the prayers, everybody, really appreciate that.
Well, as we're kind of putting a bow on the game that just happened this Saturday and talking about AC, I'm sure the team would love to have him back, but I'm glad that he's doing great.
Yeah.
What are some things this week that you guys are going to want to work on? You started out slow. I know there was a slow start. The second half really came on strong, but I guess as you're finishing this season, heading to the 12th game, I know you want to hit that 4-4 mark, but what are some of the goals you'd like to see from this team in different areas? What groups need to kind of step up, or you'd like to see some improvement from?
Well, we got a real tough challenge at 2 positions this week, Kevin, in that our offensive line's pretty beat up. We lost Chris Brown there down the stretch, so he'll be day-to-day this week. And that's the biggest area that's going to have to be adjusted. Jamal Covington just couldn't finish the game. We're without Nate already. We're without Eugene already. So we're pretty thin in the O-line right now. And so that's going to have to be a real point of emphasis this week, is making sure that we're doing things that we can successfully do with our offensive line, because these guys are pretty good up front. Once again, you're playing a defensive front that's pretty old, pretty long, pretty athletic. Played extremely well last week against Texas A&M. So I think it's a big challenge for us offensively, just with our offensive line and fitting in those needs of guys that are beat up. And then the second position's corner, obviously, with we lost T-Dub during the game. He pulled a hamstring, so he'll be day-to-day. Anthony Covington will probably be out. So we're going to have to make some adjustments there with our nickel defense. Anthony was playing the nickel position for us. And then, some adjustments with our corners, and avoiding big plays. This is a big play offense we're getting ready to play. And that's really the thing that I wasn't real pleased with in the first half of the middle game, was we didn't tackle very well. And I've always said you can kind of tell, guys are ready to play or not when they don't tackle well and their special teams aren't real good. So I didn't like either one of those early in the game last week. So those are, points of emphasis. We got to tackle well. We got to make sure we're solidified in our kicking game, and we're crossing all the T's and dotting all the I's from a special team standpoint. So those will be big emphasis this week.
And back with your offensive line, I think that a lot of fans need to realize that that's probably not just 3 starters that could possibly be down, but maybe your 3 best linemen. Yeah. And Jamal Covington, Nate Davis, and Chris Brown, 2 of those being tackles, which is a critical position. And then you throw Eugene in that mix, who's been out since the Marshall game and won't be back this year with a broken arm. So you're talking 3 tackles there. So we really need this week. We'll see how he does, day to day. But you're exactly right. Those are some of your better players up front. That you're going to need. Well, I know it makes it tough, especially in the running game. And how's Khalif doing? I know he didn't finish the game, and maybe get us an update on that. And then how you thought he did filling in. Well, Khalif should be fine. He got cleared today, so he should be okay. He's just beat up. Hassan's beat up. Everybody said it's week 12.
It took a couple hits on Saturday.
It's week 12, and everybody's sore. So. But I was really proud of Robert and Ben LeMay. Ben hadn't been in there in a while. We haven't asked Ben to play here in the last 4 or 5 weeks, and he got in there and did some nice things. I thought he ran the ball extremely hard. Robert just keeps getting better. The more he plays, he's just going to, and that bodes well for the future. Those 2 guys in there. So really proud of the way they're playing. And Khalif's really just toughing it out. And, you know, I was proud of him last week, and we'll need for him to, you know, have a big week this week.
You're going back to the game a couple of weeks ago when the guys went down with the injuries and the O-line had some trouble, you know, in the running game in the second half against Rice. Talk about the adjustments you made this last week, because you still had some banged up offensive linemen and did a much better job this week against Middle moving the ball.
We did. We had Chris. You know, Jamal came back and played a little bit, so we got some out of him. You'll get a chance to talk to Wolfgang later on in the show. Wolfgang had to play some tackle this week, so we had to start that process last week of moving some guys around. Jared Barr playing a little bit more at guard, Wolfgang moving out to tackle, things like that. So those are things we're going to have to make sure that we've got a really good plan going into this game on how we're going to run the ball and how we're going to try to get that done. And so that'll be a critical week for us. And it's a short week basically because, you know, we have class today and tomorrow. Then we try to let our non-travel guys get up, you know, leave for Thanksgiving. So, you know, the week happens really fast, and we've been doing this for, you know, since we were at Marshall. We played at Marshall every year in the 1AA playoffs. We were in the playoffs every year playing Thanksgiving. Then when we went to Georgia, you know, you always played on Thanksgiving, and then Wake Forest the same way. So we've got this schedule down pretty good, and I'm real comfortable with this schedule, but it happens really fast on Thanksgiving weekend. So you kind of cram everything in, especially on Wednesday and Thursday, and then let the guys go home Thursday afternoon. So it happens fast this week, but we'll have a good plan for them in place, and just we try to manipulate this ball and run it and how we're going to run it. But we're going to have to play well on defense this week and not give up some big plays.
Hey, Coach, how about Thanksgiving for the guys that can't go home? What happens with them?
We try to find a place for them, whether that's with a teammate or at my house or at one of the coaches' houses. So we try to make sure everybody has a place to go on Thursday afternoon.
That should be a good day, hopefully, and a good road trip going down to San Antonio. We'll leave on Friday morning and head down there for the Saturday night game against the Roadrunners. We'll take a timeout, back with more of the show in a moment. I think we come back at the Bow Time Challenge. Is that what's coming up next?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Bow Time Challenge with the
go.
Bowberry Biscuits. Kevin trying to get his title back. It's been a couple of weeks where it slipped away from him. The last week, he thought about throwing a challenge flag. He didn't do it. We'll see what happens this week. That's coming up next. This is the Charlotte IMG Sports Network.
Sophie, his 13th birthday. Gift? We've got you. Guitar? Coming tomorrow. Road game today. Surprise party tomorrow. Change of plans. Game tomorrow.
No, birthday tomorrow.
Guitar. Reroute.
Birthdays are on birthdays.
Party. Relocate. UPS My Choice makes rerouting packages easy. How we're helping companies solve for the needs of customers like Sophie.
You think you got what it takes?
It's time for the Bow Time Challenge with Kevin Donnalley, presented by Bojangles' famous chicken and biscuits.
I will beat you down. I will eat you into oblivion.
Now let's head back to the Student Union and your host, Matt Swierad.
Welcome back, everybody. Got at least for the time being, this might be the final Bow Time Challenge because it's the final regular season football show here today. And Kevin Donnalley trying to get the title back after stumbling the last couple of challenges. And he might have a tough one today because his opponent in the Bow Time Challenge, his name is Bo, John Bo.
Yeah.
And they call him J-Bo. He's a freshman computer science major from Raleigh, and he seems like
he's got his own cheering section.
He's about
too.
half the size of Kevin Donnalley, but he's locked in already.
It's on, I can tell.
It's going to be on. So Scott, you tell us.
He's got a Titleist hat on.
You got 30 seconds. This is going to be big time right here. Going to get a 30-second count, and they're off. There they go.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and Kevin's already stumbled out of the gate. Little fumble.
Oh, he's spilling. Coach, it's on now. J-Bo, you got him.
Oh, man. Kevin's going to the tee often, and John Bowe has not yet. Now he's going to finally go to the tee.
Those biscuits are hard.
They are.
They just suck everything out of them.
We've got 10 seconds
They're
left.
really good, though.
Here's the final couple of seconds. They're done. Got to get a ruling here. Got to get a ruling. Who's going to win? Oh, they're calling a draw.
Oh, Lordy.
Calling a draw.
We got to go to overtime. There's no tie. There's no ties in football.
There's been a couple of ties
go to
in the
overtime.
NFL this year. So
go get the chicken strips.
That's funny. Kevin Donnalley and John Bowe still trying to finish up their
John, you got it,
Bowberry
man.
biscuits, but they're going to call it a draw, a tie. So Kevin gets some.
He
of
really
his,
should win because he's half of Kevin's size. I mean,
he is half of Kevin, height-wise and sideways. We'll get Kevin back up here when he finishes his Bowberry.
He's got to clean himself up.
He's got some of that icing on him. So, Coach, that was pretty good. If that's the final one of the year, that was a pretty challenging run right there.
It was. I don't think Kevin was real focused, though, kind of like we were in the first half there. He's spilling his tea coming out of the gate. I mean, you just got to be ready. I don't know if he thought it was senior day or what.
I know.
You
I'm
got to
not
be ready
sure.
to go,
Let's
man.
Mike back on. Were you okay at the beginning there?
I'm sugared up. Sorry, am I interrupting?
How was that biscuit?
It was really tasty. I figured if I was going to lose today, I better do it with something I truly enjoy. And those Bowberry biscuits are awesome.
No question.
I got down 2 of them pretty quick, and it was
solid move.
Tie. I don't know. I would have said let's do an overtime, but we got radio show to do.
That's right.
I really thought this week you were going to bring one of those red challenge flags.
Do we have one more? Are we here next week? Or
Actually, next week, Coach is recruiting. There's no football show. That's going to be for people watching and listening. Just check charlotte49ers.com on the whether there's a show or not having a show next week. There's a basketball game next Monday night, so it won't be Mark Price, and it won't be Coach Lambert. He's going to be off recruiting. So we'll have another one at some point to wrap things up, and then, of course, the recruiting show in February. So you got a chance to – but this might be the last one at the end of the year. This might close out 2016 with a draw.
They'll probably bring one back during basketball season, though.
Why
bring
not?
you back, yeah.
Yes.
Bring you back just to try to get that title back. Mark
Can't
Price
end on a tie.
I mean, overall, I was like 6-3-1 or something.
Not bad. There's been a couple of ties in the NFL lately, so
6-3-1. I mean, I'm the end of the year champ if there's no Super Bowl, if you will.
We'll talk to Todd. We
Bojangles.
need to get overtime. Bring the chicken strips in or something for overtime.
I was glad to do it. Always loved Bojangles.
that was fun.
Bojangles, you can go with it.
And a good challenge from John Bowe today. That was not bad. Not bad. All right, so Niners going to San Antonio. This is a great trip in terms of just cities in this league. Folks haven't been to San Antonio. It's a neat place. We're staying downtown. The players won't see it, but I'm going to see the Riverwalk. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, San Antonio's a nice city, and this is kind of funny because this is a program that's 2 years ahead of us, and a program that we went and visited. Spent a lot of time out there visiting with them about starting football and the things they went through in their process, and they kind of helped us along the way. And obviously, they were going into the WAC at that time, and then when all the realignment happened, now we're in the same league and played them last year. Played a real good game here with them in overtime. Lost, down the stretch. So our guys going to that Alamo Dome and having a chance to play there. It'll be a good venue, be a good environment for them. And San Antonio's at 5 wins. They're playing for a lot. They're playing for their first bowl bid, and so it'll be a real intense environment, and it's going to be a tough challenge for our guys, no question.
Could play spoiler with the win down there and keep them out of the bowl. And also, hey, Niners are 1-0 in playing in domes, right?
There you go. No question.
Won the Georgia Dome against Georgia State last year.
Yeah, it's a good facility. This will be a lot of fun for our guys. We got to make sure we have a really good week. I've challenged our seniors, about having the kind of preparation week that we need to give ourselves a chance to be successful on Saturday.
Yeah, and I think, in challenging those seniors to have a good game, and, even though you didn't get the bowl eligibility this year, what you can do is end this season on a really good note, and kind of how you finish is what you carry with you into the off season. So I know there's a lot of motivation there for the guys.
Yeah, no question. And especially this 6-game stretch we're on where we are playing better and giving ourselves a chance to win. We need to finish out in that same mode and give ourselves a chance to win this game on the road against a really good football team.
So at San Antonio, talk about, they spread the ball out a little bit, pro-style, multiple offense, a team that when you look at their games, they've scored a lot of points. They've had a lot of games they've had, upwards of 30 or more.
Yeah, they have, and then most recently, they beat Middle Tennessee on the road, played extremely well, scored a lot of points against them, had some big plays when you watch it on film. Of course, their running back's back. He's a really good player. 2 of the offensive linemen are back. The quarterback is back. He didn't play as much against A&M Saturday as he's played pretty much the whole year. He's a real athletic guy. He can run. They got a big physical tailback, can run. Got some, really good wideouts. Their offensive line, 2 of them are back. They got a couple transfers in. Frank's gotten a couple transfers in from LSU. He came from LSU. I think the left tackle came with him. So they've gotten some transfers in. And then, I think defensively they're a really athletic team. We've had a lot of crossover film with them, like Middle and different people, Old Dominion, whoever. We've had some crossover games. Got to see them quite a bit on film. So they've done a nice job, and put themselves in a position to play a tough schedule. Played Arizona State early in the year, and then had to play A&M Saturday. So they've had a tough schedule, or they could be even, already bowl eligible. So they had played Louisiana Tech a couple weeks ago, played for that, basically the title on that side, the West Division title. Louisiana Tech got after them pretty good, but they're a team that can really score the ball, and they can really, hit you with some big plays. So that's going to be critical for us defensively, is making sure we're good gap control. Frank Selfo, their offensive coordinator, I've known him for a lot of years. His brother and I coached together for years at Marshall in Georgia, so he's a really good offensive mind, and he brings a lot of shifts and motions, and then traditional, really more of an NFL-looking, offense than a lot of college offenses. A little more, they play a fullback. Who in college football anyone plays the fullback? They got a fullback, and it's a really good blocker, and they move him around, and so you can run some traditional plays and then play action off of it, and get 14, on the move as well.
You look at them, and this last week going to College Station, as you mentioned, 102,000 people down there. They lost a 13-point game to A&M. Was the game as close as the score?
Yeah, they played extremely well, which you knew they would, because all those kids at San Antonio, everybody's from Texas. So that's what you see when they play North Texas, when they play A&M, when they play Rice. All those kids, man, they play so hard against each other, and they played extremely hard against Texas A&M, and you knew that going in they would. It's a great environment. It'd be like our guys going playing at North Carolina or South Carolina. They're going to rise up and play extremely hard, and that's what you saw on film. They played well. A&M's really fast. Kind of got to them, early, and then held on to win the game.
Well, got a lot more show coming up, and again, we're going to talk to assistant coach Damien Gary, also player guest Wolfgang Zacherl, and we're going to take our next break on the show right now. Come back with more in a moment. The Ortho Carolina Student Athlete Spotlight is coming up next, and I think after that we're going to sit down with Coach Gary. This is the Charlotte IMG Sports Network.
Sophie, his 13th birthday. Gift, we've got you. Guitar, coming tomorrow. Road game today, surprise party tomorrow. Change of plans. Game tomorrow.
No, birthday tomorrow.
Hotel. Guitar, reroute.
Birthdays are on birthdays.
Party, relocate. UPS My Choice makes rerouting packages easy. How we're helping companies solve for the needs of customers like Sophie.
The Student Athlete of the Week, sponsored by Ortho Carolina, the official team physician of your Charlotte 49ers.
Time now for the Student Athlete of the Week segment. My guest this week is on the football team. It's linebacker Justin Bridges-Thompson, or as everyone better knows him, JVT. And JVT, just tell me, season already underway now, but how are you feeling physically, really getting a chance to play this year?
Well, yeah, I've been getting a lot of playing time this year. I think this year, as far as it being my senior year, I really got to evolve this year. I worked harder ever than this year, and I've just been grinding, so.
Tell me a little bit about you away from the field. What are you studying here at Charlotte, and why did you decide to go that route?
Well, as far as me away from the field, I'm studying history. As far as want to go to my route, I really want to be a school teacher. Sooner or later, principal, athletic director, someone in the school district, as far as the nature, because I love being around kids. I love the environment, interacting with kids, and as far as, people in the district are learning, so that's what I want to be.
And does it give you a little bit of pride, too? I mean, when you're on the field, you can look up in the stands and see all those kids who are where they want to be where you are someday. Does it give you some pride to be able to represent the university and show them a good example?
It gives me pride to be a Niner because, I was once as kids, I was once at the age where I really wanted to be, and watch as, older football players. And as I'm in this position now, it really gave me a sense of pride. It really made me push through, and that's what I really want to be. So.
Tell me about you away from the field again. when you're taking a break from football, school, and everything else you've got going on, what do you like to do to help you unwind?
Oh, well, unwinding, I just like to go home, kick my feet up, relax, I love watching movies. So Netflix is one of my biggest things, as far as outside of all my history homework I have, but that's what I really like to do. I just really like to, hone in on myself, I like to get something good to eat, watch movies and just, relax and ease my mind for the next day,
There are a lot of college students, I'm sure, who can relate to wanting to put their feet up and just watch some Netflix a while. Tell me, too, what are your strategies, or how have you kind of developed a way to balance football, history, homework, and that time to relax?
Well, I know as far as on my schedule, I know we have a teamwork schedule where we know we have everything balanced between weights, all our classes, meetings, practice, and everything. But I mean, as far as I plan out everything at night, you know what I'm saying? As far as what I got to get up, what I got to do, what time I got to get up, So I just, as far as scheduling is an organization, a real big thing for me, because once you're organized and doing everything right, how could you be wrong,
Justin, we appreciate your time. Thank you very much, man.
Thanks, sir.
That's Justin Bridges Thompson, or JBT. He's on the football team, and he is our Student Athlete of the Week.
This has been the Ortho Carolina Student Athlete of the Week, brought to you by Ortho Carolina, the official team physician of your Charlotte 49ers.
And welcome back, everybody, here at Goldmine Live at the Student Union here at Norms, talking Niner football, final week of the regular season. I want to thank Joe Prozac for that conversation. Ortho Carolina Student Athlete Spotlight with Justin Bridges Thompson. And joined now by assistant coach Damien Gary as we look forward to week number 12. Coach, thanks for taking some time on. I know it's for you a busy Monday. Hope you're doing well.
Doing great. Thank you for inviting me.
So looking at how the year's played out, you got to be really happy with these running backs and how the Niners have run the football up to a couple of weeks ago, #1 in Conference USA and rushing the football. It's going to make you really happy.
Yes, sir, it has. The guys have really been working hard, and we put a good plan together each week for the guys, and they've really bought into it, not just this year, but we've been traditionally a pretty good team running the ball. And just proud of their progress, especially the young guys coming back. Feel really good about those two guys.
Talk about the backs as a whole, because you've got Khalif Phillips, one of the best in Conference USA, and hopefully a guy that gets a chance to play someday on Sunday. But for the first time, he's got some help, really some legitimate help where he doesn't have to play every down. Coach loves to have him out there. Doesn't want number 3 next to him on the sidelines, but you've got some help.
We did. We had a luxury this year of kind of keeping Khalif fresh. Like he didn't have to play every down. We got the young guys that could come in and spell him. Still played a lot, which is what we love and plan for him to do. But at the same time, we get on a long drive, we can kind of get him in and out. Get a quick sip and go right back in. So we've definitely been blessed and had a luxury of having a little depth finally this year.
Now going forward, talk about the young guys. How this first year has been for two really the true freshmen in Robert Washington and Ben LeMay.
I think both of those guys have really exceeded expectations. Didn't really know which one would play. We kind of thought maybe one would, play and one would redshirt, but, both those guys came in fall camp and they were ready to play. So it was kind of hard not, to let them play. And then once Cleve kind of got banged up earlier this year, we had to go, do a little bit more with those guys, and, they responded well.
Yeah, and you guys, like you said, Khalif started a little bit slow from being banged up, but he's gotten in a great groove. Just surpassed 4,000 yards for his career at Charlotte, and it's got to be fun coaching a guy like that. What are some, when did you know that you had the real deal here? Because it wasn't like he was really heavily recruited. It's a guy that you took a look at, you studied him, decided to pull the trigger on and bring him in, and he's just been awesome.
I mean, even from the first day he stepped on campus, he's been, workhorse, a guy that works every day in practice, doesn't say much, just kind of an even kill dude. He shows up to work and just kind of handles his business every day. So, it's been fun watching him over these past 4 years. Definitely going to miss him. And I'm still trying to figure out how people can't tackle him even when he's bottled up. So it's been a joy to coach him.
Well, that's what I was going to ask is what do you think is that attribute that people didn't quite have figured out when he came out of college, because he's been so successful at Division I level? You think it's that not being able to tackle him, his balance, quickness, all of it?
I think it's a combination of everything. People just really don't know how fast he is. And then once you hit him, you don't realize how strong he is. So a combination of kind of his speed and toughness and, just his competitive nature, once people kind of run up against him or he runs by you, they're kind of like, okay, he's the real deal. So it's been fun to watch.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, he's one of those backs, too, when you watch him, And because he can do those things and break a tackle and run a guy over, you don't think of the breakaway speed that he has, but you get him out in the open field, I mean, he's gone.
Absolutely, and that's kind of things that catch defenses by surprise, especially the guys in the secondary. Once he kind of gets in the open field, he can pull away from you, and it's real deceptive, because we're so used to seeing him kind of run through people or, make a few people miss here and there, but, he does have a little breakaway speed.
You won the game at Southern Miss. Did anybody give him a little bit of a tough time? He went for that first run of 72, but somebody caught him that time.
They did. We always give him a tough time, even when he kind of, break away and don't get caught. Just kind of remembering the run from Temple he had when he had the defensive lineman chasing him, and I was ready on the sideline waiting. I said, you better not get caught by a D lineman. So we always give him a tough time about that.
Well, I get nervous with big runs right out of the gate because I'm worried about a hamstring or something because, they're warmed up, they're ready to play, but then to sprint off, go 70 yards has got to be kind of crazy for them. But what I wanted to ask is, is he still the fastest guy in that room?
I think he got a little more competition this year. Last year I might have said yeah, but I think Benny LeMay will probably give him a run forward.
Well, I know this is his final game coming up, and there's been a ton of scouts taking a look at him, evaluating him. Do you think does he think what he has and what he's done in the program would lend itself to playing in the NFL? Do you think that there's a team that may take a stab on him?
I think so, just from his productivity. He's been a guy that's produced 4 years. He's the third down back. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. He can, we know he can run people over and kind of get squeezed through those tight holes. So I think he definitely have a shot. If he can just dedicate himself and put the work in, I think he'll definitely get a shot.
Well, the two freshman running backs individually, they're two different kinds of runners, but what do you like most about both those guys?
Well, like you said, both of those guys are just a change of pace back. You got Robert, who's a little similar to Khalif, big body to kind of lean on you and pound you a little bit, and then you got Benny, who will hide behind a line of scrimmage, and before you know it, he's in the secondary. So, he's a little jitterbug back there. And like I said, both of those guys really give us two different dynamics in that backfield.
The offense has really got a lot more explosive, with the running aspect of quarterback Hassan Klue. Talk about his relationship with these running backs.
Have a great relationship, not only with the running backs, but, the O-line, the receivers. Hassan is the ultimate team player. He just wants to do whatever is best for, not only offense, but the team. If we wanted him to carry the water bottle, he'll be happy doing that. But, he's definitely given us a different dynamic in the backfield and opened a few more windows to throw the ball, a few more lanes to run the ball. So that's definitely been a good pace for us.
Yeah, and I think the thing when you have a running quarterback he's a great thrower, but what he can do is really run the ball so well. That read option gets set up so much better for you, and you can see it last game when guys are keying on Khalif or whoever's at back. He's just strolling out of there, getting sometimes even easy first downs. It really has to open things up for the offense.
Oh, absolutely. It makes the running back's life a lot easier because they got to kind of pick the lesser two evils. When you're going to take the quarterback or you're going to take the running back. So teams have kind of approached us, different from week to week. 1 week it's the running backs gaining a lot of yards, and like last week it's the running back that's, pulling and running outside the edges.
Yeah, now, before we get off, the running backs or whatever we're talking about here, I wanted to say one comment about Ben LeMay because, he hadn't played a whole bunch in the last few weeks, and then went in there and was extremely productive. And you can't go to sleep on him with his power either.
Not at all.
Close to the goal line down there, bringing a few tacklers with him. It was good to see. What you have going forward, you're going to lose so much with Khalif, but what you have going forward, it has to leave you excited for what's coming up for 49er football.
Absolutely. After we take care of business this week, I'm definitely looking forward to this offseason and the spring to get to work with those two young guys and see where they can take the program.
Coach, thanks so much. Really appreciate this, and happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy the holiday, and I know you guys are back to work today for San Antonio. Good luck this week.
Yes, sir. Sure appreciate it. Thank you.
Damien Gary's been our guest, running back coach for the Niners. Back with more. We're going to talk with Wolfgang Zacherl, offensive lineman, coming up, and we come back. This is the Charlotte IMG Sports Network.
Sophie, his 13th birthday. Gift, we've got you. Guitar, coming tomorrow. Road game today, surprise party tomorrow. Change of plans. Game tomorrow.
No, birthday tomorrow.
Hotel. Guitar, reroute.
Birthdays are on birthdays.
Party, relocate. UPS My Choice makes rerouting packages easy. How we're helping companies solve for the needs of customers like Sophie.
Well, welcome back here. Gold Mine Live at Norms, the Student Union. Kevin Donnalley, Matt Swierad with you. Coach will be back in a little bit. Joined now by offensive lineman Wolfgang Zacherl here up on the stage. And week 12 coming up. It's been a long season in terms of you guys getting out there and banging on that offensive line. And you guys come into the final week, Wolfgang, with a chance to go 500 in Conference USA in year 2. You guys going to be proud of the step forward you've made so far this year.
Yeah, well, I think that all of us, we had high expectations coming in, and our expectations are still high. You know, we want to keep working and moving forward, not just as a team, but as a program. And obviously, we want to win every game, go out there and win every game. But, you know, I think that's just what we need to go on and focus on that as far as.
How about for yourself, like some of the steps you think you've made going in the right direction, getting better at your position? You've been moved around too because of injuries and having to play multiple spots in the O-line. So how's it been for you personally?
Honestly, I think it's really helped me. You know, it's good to get different viewpoints, know exactly what the tackle's going to be thinking about while I'm playing guard, what he's looking for, so and how I can help him out, and whether that's in pass pro, double teams, all those other things. But, you know, I'm just going to keep doing what they ask me. You know, I love the game, and I think it's really helped me a lot.
I got you. You need to loosen up a little bit, bro. You're a hog molly. We're having some fun right now. You're a big offensive lineman. This guy, you know, it's been a joy seeing him around this program and what he's brought to it, because you have just I think just being that versatility. There's not a lot of guys that can go up there. They might be a right tackle, left tackle, whatever, but you have to play them all. And it's been challenging for you this year because with some guys going down, you don't know, first of all, are you in, are you out, are you right guard, right tackle, are you moving to left guard, whatever's going on. But you've had a lot of success doing that. It has to make you feel good that, you know, regardless of the situation, you can overcome things like that and do well.
Yeah, well, you know, I guess the best way to put it is that I'm happy doing whatever the coaches ask of me. And, yeah, it does feel good knowing that I can help my team out in any way possible, you know, whether that's playing left tackle or right guard. But I kind of owe it to everybody else on the offensive line, too, because the whole reason I'm versatile is because I have other people to watch and other people to learn from. So I can see what Chris Brown was doing at right tackle and had him in success. So I can go out there and do the same things that he's doing.
We'll talk about, you know, mentioned a couple players like Chris Brown. What's that meeting room like? I think that's the group that you guys work the hardest, no doubt. You guys go out there and don't get a lot of hype or hoopla around you, but I think you guys have the most fun of any group out there. And just speak about the group, you know, and all the different personalities. Who's the funniest guy in that room?
Man, God, that room is something different. We just have so many different types of people in there. But definitely, I think the funniest guy, or at least the joke, would definitely be Chris Brown. He's always on everybody, always giving everybody a hard time. But it's really interesting to watch, and it's really funny to be in there when we start getting on each other. But it's a great room to be in. I love it. I love being part of this offensive line.
What would they say about you? You know, if I had Chris Brown in here and he was like, well, let me tell you about Wolfgang Zacherl.
Gosh. I don't know. Recently, they've been getting on to me about my forearms. They say I need to keep feeding my forearms. But that's probably it.
Big guy, how much turkey are you going to eat on Thursday?
Oh, my gosh. I can't wait for Thanksgiving. I'm so excited. One of my favorite holidays.
It's a great week when you can eat a ton of food and then have a football game on Saturday.
Exactly.
Go to a great town like San Antonio. Have you been there before, ever, to visit?
I haven't.
It'll be a good trip and a great place to play in. I've played in that dome, so it's. I think the team will really enjoy that. But as of this week, you're working at right guard, right tackle, a little bit of both right now?
From my understanding, yeah, I'm just going back and forth, you know, give us a little bit more depth in there. But I'm excited. It's going to be a good game. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, what are some of the things, you know, your time here with the 49ers, you're talking about going to the Alamo Dome in San Antonio this week, but you guys, you played in the Georgia Dome, you played at, you know, Kentucky, you know, this year, certainly having some games where you go on the road, beat Marshall, beat Southern Miss, the program taking those steps. What are some of the things that right now at this part of your career you remember in a very fond way and think that this has been maybe more than I expected coming here?
I could definitely say that the first thing that comes to mind is the very first football game here against Campbell. That took my breath away. I mean, I specifically remember running out of the tunnel and looking around, and 15,000 plus people just yelling about a team that never even been here before. They didn't really know us. They didn't know what we would do, and that they're out there supporting us. And it was just it was really humbling, honestly, just to see how that happened. And
how special was this past Saturday running that tunnel again? That last time.
Oh, yeah, with these seniors, it was hard, but knowing that this would be their last home game, but it was also just great to see it kind of come full circle. So, just play as hard as I could for the guys on the team.
Well, really appreciate everything you've been doing and doing a great job on that offensive line. Good luck this last week. Hopefully get that W down in San Antonio and have fun, have a good time on Thanksgiving.
Yes, sir. Appreciate being out here.
Wolfgang Zacherl has been our guest here on Gold Mine Live today. We'll come back a couple more time to talk with Coach Lambert before we wrap up the show. This is the Charlotte IMG Sports Network.
Sophie, his 13th birthday. Gift, we've got you. Guitar, coming tomorrow. Road game today, surprise party tomorrow. Change of plans. Game tomorrow.
No, birthday tomorrow.
Guitar, reroute.
Birthdays are on birthdays.
Party, relocate. UPS My Choice makes rerouting packages easy. How we're helping companies solve for the needs of customers like Sophie.
Welcome back. Back with Coach Lambert as we move forward with the show and getting ready for the final week of the regular season. Niners going to San Antonio to take on the Roadrunners of UTSA on Saturday night at the Alamo Dome. Just talked with Wolfgang Zacherl, offensive lineman. Coach, you called him affectionately your utility offensive lineman. Yep. How important and how special is that to have a guy that can play so many positions but is willing to do anything he can to help the football team win?
Yeah, just really critical. I mean, he's and the kind of guy he is. He's just a workaholic. I mean, he just loves the Niners, works extremely hard, has done everything we've ever asked of him. He was in that second class. Seems like yesterday he and I were back there talking. It seems like yesterday Coach Ratliff, Coach Adams, and myself were in his home visit. It was 4 years ago now, and the guy's getting ready to graduate. He's trying to get into grad school, and he's just done everything. Whether like Saturday, he had to play right tackle one series, left tackle. He's playing right guard, left guard. I mean, he's all over, and that's just part of it. You can't control his injuries, but he's been a real dependable, real durable. He's a tough guy. He's got the best hair on the team, so some people say.
That's right.
He's been a real blessing for us to have him as a part of this program, and that's one of the things it came down to us in Army, and that's the kind of person that he is. We knew what kind of character guy we were getting in him, and with a great work ethic. So you can't have enough of those guys on your team, and really special guy, and just really glad he's here.
So did you sell it that, hey, if you came here, you got to keep the hair? Because if you go to the Army, that's gone.
Yeah, no question. That was a big
That's the deal breaker.
Deal. That's right. That's the deal breaker.
One thing that kind of struck me as we were talking, Wolfgang, and during the show, is that, being the last game, the 12th game of the season in year 4, for fans that have followed this program, students, alumni, it's almost like been following an NFL team in that you have your favorite player, and he's been here for 4 years before free agency. These guys that all came in as a group, there's 27 seniors, 1950 seniors. They followed these guys for 4 years, and now this group is going to be gone. That's a big group to leave, and one that's been playing for so long because they had to play as freshmen.
Yeah, no question. I mean, they play a lot of games. You got look at a guy like Austin Duke. I mean, he's played a lot of football around here. I mean, just year after year. I mean, it's just a lot of football. And the pregame out there Saturday, man, there was people everywhere. I mean, it was nuts. I mean, just a lot of guys and their families, and I mean, it was an emotional time. I mean, it's just, that's part of it. But this one was a little bit different in that they were the first, and they started, and they took the risk, and so it was a little extra on Senior Day for us last Saturday.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing that people might not understand completely when you're looking from the outside in, is the fact that it's not kind of the seasonal thing with the way guys come in, they play a few years, and they graduate. Like, this was the first class. Yeah. They took a big risk coming here, trying to put a foundation down, and you know, it's kind of hit me because I look at some of the coaches, you know, especially, but then coaches' families and then coaches' kids who were almost distraught because they're seeing these guys for their last game at home and how much they've meant to this program. And I think that's something that I bet these seniors didn't realize the impact they actually would have when they said, you know, they signed on the dotted line to get here.
Yeah, there's no way you can know that. I mean, they thought they were, you know, coming to start a program, but it's a huge impact way past the field, you know. And I look at my wife, you know, on Saturday, and she helped recruit a lot of these guys. You know, you're just our families and my boys, and like you said, you know, the coaches' families, you know, you're just involved in that process from day one when we didn't have any players, and we were using the baseball team to be their hosts when they came here, you know. So it's and then you throw in a guy like Nick Cook, who's come in from junior college, and he's just kind of the same type of guy and bought into the whole thing, and really has, you know, sacrificed a lot to, you know, help us start this program. So just real thankful for those guys.
How about Nick Cook's hands? He took a fastball from about 5 feet and hit a great interception.
Yeah, no question. Wow, he's doing okay. He's beat up like a lot of guys, but he's had a really good year for us. We need for him to play. He and Carrington both to play extremely well this week. We're going to have to be good tacklers in the open field, and this group, you know, got a chance to get away from you if you don't tackle well.
Austin Juki brought his name up. He had a big game for his last home game. He went out in style, and that great catch that he made over the middle. Terrific pass, but he hauled that in and made sure he made the catch that time, 55 yards.
Yeah, that was a big play for us, no question. I thought maybe the biggest play in the game was the catch he had on 4th and 10. Mm-hmm. You know, that was a huge play in the game. You know, I kind of rolled the dice there, and you know, Son made a nice read and a good throw, and Austin made a real big catch in that situation. So he had a couple of them on Saturday, and I could tell all week, you can kind of watch guys and see how he was really focused last week. I mean, he could just tell he knew this was the last one for him in this stadium. And, you know, he just had I don't know what it was. I could tell all week, and I was really proud of him the way he came out and played. He played extremely well, and I could tell he was real focused, you know, before the game, kind of all week. I mean, that didn't surprise me when he played that and made those situations. I didn't know if we could get the ball to him, but when we did, he really made some nice catches.
We're going to get our last break in. We'll do that, come back, wrap up the show, wrap up as we get ready for Week 12, the final game at UTSA on Saturday. This is the Niner Coaching Show, Gold Mine Live from Norms, the Student Union on the Charlotte IMG Sports Network.
Sophie, his 13th birthday. Gift, we've got you. Guitar, coming tomorrow. Road game today, surprise party tomorrow. Change of plans. Game tomorrow.
No, birthday tomorrow.
Hotel. Guitar, reroute.
Birthdays are on birthdays.
Party, relocate. UPS My Choice makes rerouting packages easy. How we're helping companies solve for the needs of customers like Sophie.
Now, a couple of minutes before we wrap up the show here with Coach Lambert, the final football show of the season. We'll have, of course, a recruiting show coming up in February. But it's year 4, year 2 at the FBS level. Conference USA trying to get to a 500 record with a win against UTSA on Saturday. So it's a big week. And, of course, the last game for the seniors we've been talking about quite a bit during the show here today, Coach. So hopefully as we go in, taking on a really good UTSA team, we can kind of play spoiler down there and keep them from going to a ball game.
Yeah, no question. I mean, that's the goal going in. We want to give ourselves a chance to win the game, and that takes a lot of hard work here early in the week to set ourselves up to be successful on Saturday, and we'll take that same approach that we've taken every week, and our kids, you know, they should respond.
You know, of course, it's not going to a bowl game, but you look at we've been talking about all the seniors and everything. You can almost take this week and look, this is our big game. This is our game to go out there and let's just finish with the 4-4 record. Let's just go out with a big win.
Yep, no question. You know, playing a nice venue against a good football team that beat us last year here in overtime, and they got a lot to play for. So the intensity level, we got to go out there and take it to another level intensity-wise, because they'll bring it, you know, based on what they're playing for. So, and, you know, I'd be It's like to thank Niner Nation for, coming out. We had good fan support this year. We appreciate the fans, the students come and watch us play. And I know our guys really appreciate it. Had a good crowd out there again Saturday for Senior Day. And our guys really appreciate that. And we want to win at home for our fans. And we didn't get that done this year. A lot of our wins on the road. So we've got to focus on doing that again next year.
Coach, we also want to thank Kevin and I, you and your staff, just all the access you allow us, and just it's been a joy working with you all. Look forward to many, many more years to come.
Yeah.
But hope you, Angie, the boys and Lucy have a great Thanksgiving.
You
and
same.
We'll see you on Saturday.
We appreciate you guys as well.
Thanks so much. Coach Lambert, Kevin Donnalley, I'm Matt Swierad. Don't forget, basketball tomorrow night, 7 o'clock at Halton Arena. Take on UTSA, take on USC Upstate coming up on Saturday. So long, everybody.